Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Andrew's Life. I hope everybody's doing great today. We're going to be driving through Corydon, Indiana. So, welcome to Corydon, Indiana. Now, Corydon, Indiana is located in the south central part of Indiana, southern Indiana. It is 25 miles west of Louisville, Kentucky, which is going to be the closest metro to this city. And the population here, as of 2020, is currently sitting at 3,153 people. And this city has experienced a 1% population growth as of 2020. Now, back during 2010, the population was 3,122 people, and at that time the population grew by 15%. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that the racial demographics here, boy, it's 96% white. So I would tell you that off the top. Now, this city does have a lot of history. I'm not going to tell you all the history of this city, but I will tell you some for the sake of, I don't want to bore you with all the history of the city. So I'll just tell you some. So in 1803, Edward Smith's family were the first Americans to settle here and purchased some land in 1807. The land that him and his family were already living on. So they moved here in 1803, and the plot of land that they were living on, they chose to purchase that plot of land. In 1804, William Henry Harrison, who was the first governor of what was at the time the Indiana Territory, as well as one of the former U.S. presidents, purchased land here as well. And he purchased a plot of land here by the Indiana Creek. Harrison began to build what would be later known as Corydon. This town started with a 2-story home that he sold in 1809. The name Corydon came from the pastoral elegy, a hymn honoring the death of a shepherd whose name was Corydon. This town was officially found in 1808, and the capital of this town was founded in 1808, and this used to be the state capital, believe it or not. And so from 1813 to 1825, Corydon used to be the capital of what was at the time the Indiana Territory. And I believe so anyways, in 1825, Indianapolis became the state capital. Corydon was the site that hosted the American Civil War in 1863. So in 1814, 107 slaves were freed after arriving here. At this time, Corydon was the home of the largest community of freedmen, or black slaves that were freed in the state of Indiana. As of 2010, the black population, however, was only sitting at 0.2%. And I'm going to assume, as I speak now, the black population is probably about the same, 0.2%, if not even lower. So for those of you that you watch this video, maybe you might want to come here and visit this town visit this small city in person. You visit, you want to move here. Well, obviously, if you move here, there's not going to be a whole lot of entertainment. I mean, when it comes to entertainment, you'll have to drive that half-hour trip to Louisville, which is really no big deal when you think about it. But if you don't want to take that trip to Louisville, if you're not a city person, if you prefer the small town atmosphere, and you get bored, you look for something to do. I mean, well, this city, it's got a few things to offer. Not too many, but just a few. Like, for an example, you have the Halloween parade. You have the Harrison County Fair on the third week of June. And you also have Friday evening band concerts during the summer. Now that it is the summertime, I'm assuming that they have already began the band concerts once a week here. And when it comes to employment opportunities, I mean, this is a relatively small community, so jobs are not going to be the most plentiful. Again, you're only a half hour away from Louisville. So most people that live here, most likely they're driving to Louisville to go to work. But once again, if you're looking for work and for whatever reason you don't want to have to drive too far for work, your choices as far as it goes for employment here are going to be, you got Tyson Food, you got Walmart, you have the Harris County Hospital, and you have there's a little river boat and casino that's here too. It's called the I can't pronounce it right, but it's called it's Caesars. I want to say it's pronounced Caesars, South Indiana. That's what it's called. It's basically a riverboat and a casino here, and a casino resort here. But those are going to be your largest employers here if you don't want to take that drive to Louisville to go to work, or for that matter, somewhere a little larger than here. Now, when it comes to the housing prices here, you will pay a little bit of money for housing here. Now, me personally, when I drove through this city, to me, this was more of a small town feel than it was a suburban feel. But when it comes to the housing here, you're going to pay what I would consider to be a suburban price tag. Now, I would say, to be on the safe side, if you come here looking to purchase a home, be prepared to spend at least $240,000. Now, there are a few houses here that are priced below $240,000, but not too many. The majority of the houses that are priced below $240,000 on Realtor.com, if you were to go on Realtor.com right now, the majority of them are going to either be under contract. The majority of them are going to be under contracts. Now, there's a couple of them that are priced below $240,000 that are still available, but there's only like 2 or 3 of them. And by the time y'all get done watching the video, all those houses may be under contract. So, yeah, if you want to move here, be prepared to pay at least $240,000 for a house. Now, the good news is, if you want to move here, I mean, obviously, as you guys can see, this is a very beautiful small city. You know, we got a lot of rolling hills, beautiful city. If you got children, your children will get a good education, apparently. I mean, the public schools here have a B grade. So, for you parents that want to move here, you'll be good there. I mean, you'll definitely, well, I don't want to speak too much, but I'm going to assume that your child's education experience here will most likely be better here than it will be in, let's say, the Louisville public schools. Now, when it comes to crime, I know a lot of you that live in Louisville. Some of you might be looking to move out of the city of Louisville. You're tired of the city. You're sick of all the crime that the majority of American cities have today. You're looking for somewhere small and quiet to reside. Now, if you got the money, Corydon could be your next home. Now, when it comes to the crime here is very low. Now, just as a reminder, the national average for property crime is 19, which means for every 1,000 people, 19 people will be a victim of property crime. And when it comes to violent crime, for every 1,000 people, 3.6 people will become a victim of violent crime. Now here in Corydon, for property crime, per 1,000 people will be a victim of property crime. And the most common type of property crime here is theft. When it comes to violent crime here in Corydon, only 2.2 people per 1,000 people will become a victim of violent crime. And the most common type of violent crime here is assault. So crime here is very low. Let's see what other people have to say about this city. Okay, Corydon scores, according to Niche, Corydon scores a 4 out of a 5-star rating. So I'm going to read probably 3 reviews from every category, rate all the way from excellent down to average. 8 people gave this city a excellent rating, 20 people gave it a very good, 7 people gave it an average, and nobody gave it a poor or terrible. So let's read a few of these. Okay, this first review was from 10 months ago. I like that it's a small town. Oh, this is a 5-star rating. I like that it's a small town and everyone knows everyone by name. It's nice having good neighbors and friends. I don't have anything to change. Okay, the next one is another 5-star. And this review is written in November of 2023. Corydon is a lovely town filled with friendly people. It has very rich history that can be seen and found throughout the town. And that is very true. And I believe they have a museum here that you can go to if you're interested in learning more history about this town. Corydon also has a beautiful architecture spanning and originating throughout many decades. The best word to describe Corydon, Indiana is warm. Okay, I'll read you guys. Let me see if I can get one that's not a... Okay, I'll read you guys one more. It's a 5-star written in April of 2022. Corydon, Indiana is a rural city. It is located off Interstate 64, exit 105. just 30 minutes from Louisville, Kentucky. So this person gave you the directions to get to this city if you were to show up in southern Indiana, or I guess Louisville, Kentucky. It has significantly grown in the last 10 years. There has been a new Starbucks, Soap City, new Goodwill, and many new restaurants that has recently been opened. Okay, this person is just telling you everything that's going on in the city. Haywood Park is a wonderful park with new walking trails, basketball goals, playground and lake for fishing. Old Bannon Woods Park is also located in Corydon. It is a wonderful place to camp, swim, climb the fire tower, or just enjoy a day of walking. There are plenty of stores to shop at for many multiple needs. As there is the Corydon Cinemas, the car dealerships, plenty of gas stations, churches, banks, farmers market, and flea markets. There is even a theater downtown in the beautiful square. There are festivals, many events all year long at the fairground. Everything you need without going to town is at your fingertips in Corydon, Indiana. Okay, that's a long paragraph. Okay, let's get into another category here. Okay, here's another review. It's a 4-star, written 9 months ago. While the suburban neighborhoods and public schools provide effective safety, my experience in searching for jobs has been difficult. Well, like I said, if you're going to move here to Corydon, you're going to most likely have to take that job to Louisville to find any type of work. Or go to one of the neighboring slightly larger cities to go find work. Okay, this next review was written 10 months ago, and it's another 4-star. I like the people. Sure, there are some rude people, but overall the community has been quite enjoyable to be a part of. We've made very good friends during our time here, and would love to get more involved. I personally love going downtown, especially around the Gazebo and library. Taking walks around there is very soothing. And I gotta say one thing. And, given that, I live in Alabama right now, for those of you that don't know that. And I used to live in Indiana. I lived in Indiana for over 12 years before I came here to Alabama. And one thing I noticed is there are way more walking trails up in Indiana than there are in Alabama. Now, I was thinking that once I got here to Alabama, I would find all kind of walking trails. I would find all type of things to do outside. But what's crazy is there's actually more outdoor activities and more walking trails up in Indiana than there is in Alabama. So that's one thing I miss about Indiana. I miss all the different walking trails that you can go to. That, by the way, they're all free. You don't gotta pay a dime to go. You just park at the parking lot and you walk the trail. You're taking some of that fresh air. You get a little bit of exercise. So that's one thing I miss about Indiana. Yeah, there are walking trails here in Alabama, but they're not as nice as the ones up in Indiana are. So yeah, I thought I would mention that. Okay, this next review is another 4-star, written March of 2024. A small town with friendly people, great place to raise kids. There is not much of a nightlife, which I am fine with, but it has history every turn you take, as it is the actual first state capital. Facts. Like I said, there's a lot of history in this town. And I honestly thought it would take me a little longer to read the history that I read to you guys a little bit ago. But yeah, if you want to learn some more history about this town, there is a lot more history to be learned about this town. It is rich of history. Facts. Okay, this next review is another 4-star, written in October of 2023. A bigger, small town in Indiana has lots of shopping opportunities and a Walmart supercenter. Pretty tight-knit community. We host a lot of town events like our county fair and holiday events. Good schools, they have great opportunities tied to them. Our downtown area is very beautiful with older buildings and lots of trees. Okay, this next review is a 3-star. It was written May of 2021. Corydon is the typical average small town. It's safe and has nice public schools, but there are a few opportunities for fun activities. Again, you're only a half hour from Louisville. So if you get bored here, all you gotta do is drop a half hour and you'll be in Louisville. Okay, this next review, another 3-star, written January of 2020. Corydon is an average town in southern Indiana with lots of history behind it. My personal outlook is somewhat biased, seeing as I was raised here. I am trying to desperately get anywhere else. You know what? Don't blame you. And I'm not saying that necessarily in a bad way. I mean, sometimes when you grow up in a small town like this, and maybe you never really had the opportunity to go to too many places, I mean, it's understandable that when you get of age and you're able to make your own decisions, you want to go explore other places outside of the town that you grew up in. I mean, like for me, I was raised in Northeast Ohio. And although we did do a lot of traveling during our childhood, we did go on a lot of, like during the summertime, we went on a lot of road trips as a family. But when I got old enough to be able to drive and take myself places, when I got old enough to be able to make some of my own decisions, I was eager to see other parts of the country. I couldn't wait to get out of Ohio, especially Northeast Ohio. And even to this day, you know, I love my family, and I got much love for Northeast Ohio. But will I ever move back to Northeast Ohio? No, I wouldn't. So when this person talks about how they want to leave Corydon, I get what they're saying. I mean, I don't think they necessarily hate this town. I think they love it. I just think that they just want to see other parts of the country. And now I'm going to give my 2 cents about this town. Now, like I said, this town is only a half hour from Louisville, Kentucky. So if you get a little bored, it's really no big deal. Just drive to Louisville. And obviously, when it comes to employment opportunities, same thing. Half hour drive to Louisville. But I would say this is one of those communities where you're far enough from the city to where you don't have to endure the riffraff of the city, but you're close enough to the city to where it's not going to be a mini field trip just to get up and go to work every day. Or for your younger folks that want to go out and get into some entertainment, it's not going to be a mini field trip to do so. And that's my take on this town, man. I don't really have much more to add to the commentary, so I would love for you guys to stick around and watch the remainder of the video. And on that note, stay blessed, enjoy the rest of the video. I will catch you guys on the next one. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention something to you guys. And I was going to do a whole separate video about this topic, but I don't think I'm going to. I just got a question for you guys. And I want you guys to answer this question in the comments. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but the state of Indiana apparently has passed a law to where they're going to be able to put a toll booth or toll road on every interstate throughout the state of Indiana. And basically their main reason for doing that is because the old way that they were going about collecting money for road infrastructure repairs were no longer effective. They weren't collecting enough money. And their excuse was, with the influx of electric vehicles, the state has been unable to collect the money necessary to make improvements on the roads of Indiana. Now, me personally, I call BS. And I call BS because I don't really see a whole lot of electric vehicles here in the state of Indiana. I think honestly the governor just wanted an excuse to raise I guess you could consider it a tax increase. Category you would consider it. But I think the governor just wanted an excuse to install more tolls in the state of Indiana. It's almost like they're taking a page out of Illinois. Because for those of you that are familiar with Illinois, when you drive through the state of Illinois, they got so many toll roads, it's insane. And it seems like the state of Indiana is taking a page out of Illinois' book when it comes to taxes. At least in that regard they are. However, from what I hear, by the time they get done doing what they have to do to make the necessary adjustments to where they can turn some of these roads into toll roads, like so far, they're talking about turning parts of 465 into a toll road, as well as Interstate 70 and Interstate 65. And from what I'm hearing, by the time they get done doing that, it's going to be at least 4 to 5 years from now before you guys start to see toll roads. Now, even though I do not live in Indiana, I do come to Indiana quite often. So, obviously, I'm not happy about the governor passing that bill. I'm not happy at all about it. And I'm pretty sure many of you are not happy about it, because if and when they decide to make all those interstates a toll road, at least sections of them, it's going to add the cost that people are going to have to pay every day to go to and from their job. It's also going to add the cost of just traveling in general. And I don't know, I'm just not happy about it. And the reasons that they use to add these toll roads, I call BS. But you know what? What do you guys think? Do you guys call BS, or do you think the Indiana governor has a valid point? I would like to hear from you guys in the comments about that. Okay, folks, that's all I got for this one. Stick around, watch the rest of the video, and on that note, I will catch you guys on the next one.